Welcome back to Healthy Living. I'm your host, Melissa Hodgson, and our show is brought to you by St. Tammany Health System. We're talking today about family and children's services that St. Tammany Health System has to offer and how we're coalescing those services together into a convenient location for parents and families. We spoke first with Dr. Perry Russell, nurse practitioner with St. Tammany Pediatrics, and then Dia Frederick, who's a pediatric speech pathologist with the Wellness and Therapy Group. We're speaking next with Lori Cage. Lori leads the Parenting Center, which doesn't provide health care, it provides parenting and caregiver support and entertainment and fun for families and kids. We're so glad you're here, Lori.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, we're always glad to have you on the show. So I know that the Parenting Center is really there to support parents and other caregivers, and to have a central place for that staff that can provide some guidance and some outlets for folks that need it. And you work both at the Parenting Center itself and out in the field.
Yes.
So you want to run us through a little bit of that?
Okay. So the center itself, we're open 9 to 1 Monday through Friday, and we have parents and caregivers, grandparents that come with their children, so we have open play. And again, access to our professional staff. I have therapists, I have a registered dietitian, so there's a lot of informal learning that goes on. Everything we do is very strategic. It is about play, but it's also about support. And we offer a lot of parenting classes, anything from potty training to discipline to also health initiatives like feeding and when do you introduce those new foods and food allergies and things like that. So we kind of have a really broad spectrum. And then we also do a lot about safety. We do car seat checks for free, and just different things, water safety, you know, allergies, like I said, all kinds of things.
How to raise children safely.
Yes, yeah. And one of the things that that touches me a lot is parents come, and sometimes, you know, our society now is very transient. A lot of people aren't from here necessarily, and when they find us, they just, it's such a great support for them because they're overwhelmed sometimes as parents. I know I'm a parent, you're a parent, we're on the other end of the spectrum than the little bitties, but sometimes it just gets really overwhelming. And we've, you know, had parents that come that the staff will say, give me the baby a minute, you need a timeout, mommy. You go take some water and relax them for a minute.
And you're there to be supportive and to provide some information.
Right.
And so this summer, will you be dealing with summer camps, or how will you spend the summer at the Parenting Center?
Well, we offer summer camp for 12 to 16-year-olds. It's a safe sitter and safe at home, how to stay safe at home, and also CHOP, cooking healthy options and portions. So it's a great program. It's 4 days long, and the safe sitter component talks about not only how to be a good babysitter and discipline, but it also teaches them infant and child CPR and choking, which when I started teaching the safe sitter class, I thought, oh my gosh, I needed this as a parent even before, you know, and my parents left me home with my siblings. I'm so glad they lived.
So we'll not only create safe parents, we'll create safe sitters.
Correct, correct. And then our cooking class is fantastic because they actually teach them how to prepare foods. It's not just doing snacks. They saute, they chop, they cook. They learn about food labels, they learn about healthy options, substitutes, and things like that. And we have guests that come in, like Chef Aubrey from the hospital comes and teaches knife safety. We have master gardeners that come in and talk to them about using fresh herbs, and we also have a community teaching garden, so they get to go out and actually harvest some things that we use in the class.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you said that was for 12 to 15-year-olds?
12 to 16.
16-year-olds.
Yes, yeah.
Wonderful.
And then we also offer Safe Sitter individually, just a one-day class, so which they are filling up, so I think we might even have to add one.
Outstanding. Well, and that's interesting to me because I think for a lot of us, when we think about the Parenting Center, we have a tendency to think about that brand new parent. And like you said, sometimes a brand new parent can feel quite overwhelmed and need some resources. And that's what you and your staff are absolutely there for and 100% on board with helping that new parent. Mm-hmm. But really, you're there for parents across the spectrum, from the newborn right up through teens.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And we have a strong grandparent group. So we have a lot of grandparents that take care of their children, their grandkids now, and they come in and they like to learn about, you know, what's new, because things change, and, you know, how do I handle that new role as the grandparent instead of just the parent? So that's another, I guess, aspect of what we do.
Fantastic. And you talked a little bit about your staff, but tell me your backgrounds, because you have social work and you have dietitian, you have all kinds of professionals on your staff.
Yes, I do. So I'm an LCSW social worker, and then I also have a marriage and family life therapist, master's level, and I have a master's level clinician that's also a child life specialist, so, and then a registered dietitian. So we have a lot of very great staff that you can tap all the time. And we also do parent coaching. So anybody that wants in the community that maybe has some parenting challenges that they want to talk to somebody about, it's not therapy, but it's actually just talking about exactly what's going on with you. So we do hour-long sessions that you can get that individual one-on-one information.
Fantastic.
'Cause I know now a lot of people, go to the phone, social media, everything else, they ask 1,000 people questions, what's your opinion about this? And that can be overwhelming, and plus you may get misinformation. Whereas if you come to somebody that we're the experts in the field, we've been trained in this, and we do continuing education constantly with evidence-based practices. So I think that it's a good thing to come to us.
A powerful resource for parents and grandparents
Yes.
of kids from very young to right up into their teens. And I know that you have some interactive play groups too, and that gives that opportunity for children to play with other children of their age group,
Right.
but it's not daycare. It's very different from that.
No. So the caregiver always has to be there present with the child. So we're not a drop-off facility in any way, shape, or form. So our interactive classes, we say it's the caregiver or mommy, mommy and me type things is what usually people think of. But within the class, we do different things with music and crafts and different things like that we start working on those fine motor skills. So again, everything we do is pretty strategic. But it's fun. We try to make it fun, but you're learning while you're doing it. So, and we've identified some issues with kids through these groups and been able to get them early intervention. And as you know, early intervention is the best way to get good results.
Oh, it truly is. And you are, it's really funny that you talked about that, because the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was your interaction, the Parenting Center's interaction with other child and family services that St. Tammany Health System has to offer, because you all are going to be moving this fall or later this year to the facility by Flower Estates where St. Tammany Pediatrics and the Pediatric Wellness and Therapy Group is located, right across from our pediatric orthopedist.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about how that's going to be together.
Well, we are super excited because we've worked with our pediatricians for years, but it's been a little disconnect because we've been so far apart. So we go over there and offer parenting classes, and Dr. Fauché has come and done classes with us for our parents. But just being right there in the building to be able to say, with the doctor, if the doctor has a parent that's really overwhelmed or has some issues, just to be able to walk them right over and say, here, I've got somebody that can help you. Or we can walk right over there into the room with them and be that good resource for them. And also with rehab, like I said, we see, different issues, and I just think that's just going to be such a great synergy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited about bringing all of those services into closer proximity, because you're right, we'll be able to refer better, interact better, share services better, and it'll be so convenient for parents and for children.
Yes, because I find, if you're used to going somewhere, you're more comfortable with seeking that service. Whereas now if, the pediatrician or rehab would say, hey, go to the parenting center. But, if you haven't been there and seen it and you're not there, you tend to not maybe or maybe not utilize the service. But if you're already used to going to that place, then you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go walk over here then.
Good. Well, Lori, thank you so much for coming and talking with us about the Parenting Center.
All right. And I just wanted to mention something else. We do a lot of parenting classes in-house, but we also will go out into the community. So if you have any group that wants any kind of parent education, just call us. We'd love to go out.
Okay, and tell me that number.
985-898-4435.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
You've been watching Healthy Living, brought to you by St. Tammany Health System. I'm your host, Melissa Hodgson, and we'll see you next month for another show.